What's up, my fans? It's Catstar362 here as always, and I did promise y'all some more updates. So I've been holding on to something that I've been holding kind of personal for the moment, but I've gotten to the point of being comfortable talking about it. So on the end of May into June, I suffered a heart attack. Don't worry, I'm fine. I've had to make some drastic changes. Diet, exercise, the works of things that has to happen after that, plus recovery and rehab. Well, like I said, I'm fine. Doctors have been giving me mucho bueno reports, and my numbers have rebounded. I I'm doing good. So, also, I will be relocating, but I know a certain individual that I've talked about before. Um, Probably lurks my channel and looks for content to try to find out things, but I am not going to tell you where I'm relocating to for that reason. So maybe, if somebody wants to reach out to me privately, I'll give you the little bit of tidbits on that one. Maybe you can tell this person to piss off, because, literally, he needs to. This person's been causing me a lot of problems, but I think I've got the upper end of everything. Like I spoke in my last video, I have not heard from anyone or anything relating to him. So that individual can croak over for all I care. Want nothing more to do with him. He was a former friend of mine, and he burned that bridge. So that's where we are with that one. So anyway, yes, I'll be relocating. I've been given some new opportunities and some options. Come here, son. This guy just jumped up here. He wants to say hello. Everybody meet one of my two kitties. This is Slam. He is a 83% Bloodlines Maine Coon, as you can tell by the colors and the ragdoll. He's got the black tips, the indicative marks of Maine Coon, black paw tips, and as always, as other Maine Coons, the big giant bushy tail. And this guy is my loyal. This is my loyal ride or die. Now he is cat one of two. The other one is somewhere in the house. I don't know where. I'm not gonna go chase him down. This guy just decided to join us, so say hi, Slam. But anyways, go on. So yeah, back to the heart attack. That was a little bit of an adventure. I spent 3 days on the initial ER visit in the hospital. I went in on a Sunday morning at approximately 8 a.m. I first went to urgent care with extreme chest pain. Easily 10 of 10 on the scale. You know how doctors ask you, between 1 and 10, how's your pain? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. This felt like a spear was going through my chest right about right here. And initially I took some ibuprofen. I was slated to go on a week and a half long trip, and at first I thought it might have been some anxiety. People do have anxiety. Get down. People do get anxiety on going on trips. It's no secret. But so after I took the ibuprofen, I waited for a bit to let it settle in. No effect. So I went to urgent care. Urgent care gave me 2 nitro shots with proper timing, spacing between them, and the pain did start to taper off, and I made it about halfway home, and nope, that pain went right back up to maximum. So I told myself, alright, time to go to the ER. So I went to the ER, and that's when I started getting revelations of what was going on. So I checked in under chest pains, got a bed in the ER, and that's when they started doing all the work. And the initial blood pressure, when I first got in there, get this, y'all, 204 over 181. How am I still alive? I should be having blood vessels and arteries bursting everywhere at that kind of blood pressure. That's almost 40 points past hypertensive crisis. In fact, I think it may be more than that. But that's not where it ended. So they took an initial blood sugar check. My blood sugar was 384. Go figure. And then they got the first IV into me. They were going to start a nitro drip and do some other fluids and stuff. And the first IV was right here. And literally as that IV hit my vein, pow! Blood just shot out. And it hit one of the nurses in her scrubs. And it was a splatter pattern. It looked like somebody had shot somebody right in front of her. And the exit wound is what splattered her. I'm not kidding you. And as soon as they said it, oh crap, we got a squirter. And as soon as they said that, I felt it. I just felt nothing but blood running down my hand. It started hitting my leg, and it was a very decent flow. So they had to tie my arm off with a rubber band and get the IV plugged into the solution they were going to run, and then they started another IV on this arm, same thing, but they were prepared for it that time. Started the nitro drip to ease off the pain. About an hour later, they did comprehensive blood work, and I mean, honestly, I still don't know. I don't know how I survived through this. Maybe somebody upstairs is watching over me. I have a guardian angel. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. That's a totally different topic. My blood sugar eventually topped out at 474, and then one of my doctors told me at that point. He told me once you get above 400, your blood sugar is so high that your blood is like the consistency of a thinned out syrup. And then he got into some other things, and then he ordered another test because he was suspicious of something going on, and that is called a troponin test. Troponin is an enzyme that your heart emits when it's damaged or struggling very hard to do the work it needs to do, but it can't do it effectively. And medically, 2,400 micrograms per liter of blood of troponin, you're at risk of a heart attack. Well, my doctor comes back in, and he has this look on his face, and he tells me straight up, he says, you just broke my personal patient record. And that's where he gave me the information about the 2,400 micrograms per liter. And he said that my troponin levels were 84,000. And that's when I was like, wait. So 2,400, I'm at risk of a heart attack. You're saying my levels came back at 84,000 something? He looks at me like, yes. And so I'm going to ask you again, how are you still alive? I was like, hey, you tell me, doc. I don't know. He says, well, you are young, you've got a strong body, so maybe that's playing into effect, and, you know, everything like that. Whatever. I'm here. I'm happy. I'm recovering. I'm rehabilitating. I've been utilizing a pool, doing a ton of exercise, basic walking, power walking, swimming, and my last appointment was just last week, and according to the numbers, I've recovered about 15% of the damage done to my heart, and that wasn't very much to begin with. They told me that I was at about 80% of my heart was working as needed to be, so I've recovered about 15% of that. So that puts me back up to about 85-88% of where my heart should be. So that's a good plus. I am younger than most people they deal with heart attacks, but that doesn't say young people can't have heart attacks. So as we kept doing vitals and everything like that, then started setting in the lethargy and everything like that. When I did get woken up, I was only working on 3 hours of sleep. You guys know me, I'm nocturnal. I go to sleep a lot. Early morning into midday, and then I'm up evening into late night. So 3 hours of sleep, the functions of my body were completely, all my blood work was either high or low, some items off the scale high. Blood pressure was lethal levels, but I'm still punching through. And it got to the point where people started asking me questions, or somebody would start talking to me, or I'd even just start talking. Any kind of effort my body put out, I'd be like, and I'd pass out. I was in and out of sleep, in and out of passing out, in and out of consciousness all day long. So finally they said, okay, you're getting a bed. And then they took me up to the stress lab, did some imaging and some ultrasounds and other cardio related things. That's where I got hit with the news. As most of y'all know, there are 4 main arteries in the heart: LAD, RAD, RCA, LCA. Well, my LAD was 98% blocked. What should have been a 3/4 inch artery was now a 2 millimeter hole. That's where the damaging to my heart effects were coming from, because my heart was struggling, literally struggling, day after day after day after day, to pump blood properly through a 2 millimeter hole, which should have been a 3/4 inch hole. Now, how I didn't have aneurysms and bursting arteries or other damages, again, I don't know. I really don't. But it goes to without saying, that was the wake-up call I needed. And then 4:14 a.m. Monday morning, almost 24 hours after I went into the ER, I was awakened in my bed in the room, awaiting stent surgery, heart stents. For 23 seconds, I had a completely irregular heartbeat. I was asystolic for 23 seconds. And of course, I already had the monitors on and everything, and they just came running into my room. I actually was asleep. I slept through this. And so what happened then is they started prepping me for the stent surgery. It was scheduled originally to be at 10:30 a.m. I took the slot of another person based on priority, and they took me into surgery. Now, still, because I was having a very hard time staying asleep from on and off pain, and then because I had never had a nitro drip before, I threw up 7 times throughout the night. So I was always awake, nauseous, throwing up, And I was extremely hungry because of this, but I could not eat. So, yeah, go figure. My body was just saying, I'm done. I can't do this. And so because of it, I was just in distress and turmoil the whole night. So I go into the operating room, and this is something I never thought was even possible. During this stent surgery, they keep you awake. They actually talk to you, and you talk back to them, because what they do is if I can get my arm over here. See these 2 marks right here? That's where they went in. They stuck a stent rod up my wrist, all the way up my arm, right into my heart, put the stent in there, got the plaque and buildup out, extracted it back out for the parts that could not be just naturally dissolved. But I was supposed to be awake, because if anything were to happen or pain were to start, I would let them know, hey, I feel something. Because I was awake, what they do is they basically effectively suppress your nervous system. Real pain will still come through, but all the common feelings, like you're basically numb all over. But you'll still feel, squiggling and movement inside, and if any pain or some real discomfort comes, you'll feel that. But because of my being lethargic and all my other my conditional situation going on, I couldn't stay awake. They had to keep constantly tapping me, hey, wake up, we need you to be awake. And after about 5 or 6 times, I kept telling them, I can't. I am so exhausted, I am so drained out, I cannot stay awake. So finally, the doctor says, all right, just let him go to sleep. He's obviously championing through this. He'll be fine. And it turns out I was fine. So, hey. So the first stent got put in, and I then went to the ICU. When I finally woke up, I had to use the restroom. But see, I was so knocked out at that point, and I actually really did get some good sleep at that point. I was out for over 10 hours. I got up. Big mistake. Bed starts blaring out an alarm. Be-do, 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 be-do. And I actually panicked. I was like, what the hell did I do? And nurse comes running in. Lead nurse comes running in. And they're like, what are you doing? I was like, I gotta pee. He's like, you can't do that, buddy. Lay back down. I mean, I only moved maybe several inches. I didn't even actually sit up, or I started to sit up, and the bed went off. They said, you are on bed rest. You cannot move. If you need anything that includes having to go to the bathroom, you need to let us know. I said, well, I gotta go. He said, well, what do you gotta do? I said, I gotta pee. He says, just pee. We've got you on a catheter tube. I was like, say what? Yeah. So, of course, they had this little vacuum tube that was nicely fitted around me. And I'll tell you what, that was a mental challenge to just sit there and pee on myself while laying in the bed, to cognitively pee on myself. And I did. I finally said, okay, whatever. And so I sat there and thought about it. Finally. And I mean, I kid you not, the moment liquid hit that tube, you could hear it. It was drawing, and it pumped it all out into a bucket up on right behind my shoulder that I couldn't see it, but I could hear it. I was like, okay, I can do that. He says, well, if you have to go number 2, let me know. We'll turn the alarm off and we'll assist you, because we'll have to disconnect the connector for the tube and everything. And I was like, all right, I got you. And that's when the food started finally coming in, and my God, I ate some food. And you know how everybody talks about hospital food. Let me tell you what. Nasty or not, bland, flavorless or not, I had to eat. And boy, did I eat. So I come back home after the 3rd day, and this was Wednesday by then, and started doing changes, and I had to get rid of a whole bunch of food types, had to go to the store, spend a whole bunch of money on new food groups. I had to get rid of a lot of drinks that I had, because with the heart attack, I was also given a type 2 diabetic diagnosis. So my favorite drink ever, Mountain Dew, no more, unless it's 0. But also with the heart attack, that means no caffeine, so guess what? No Mountain Dew, period, now. So that was a mental fight of having to get new drinks. And I'll tell you what, these are awesome. And they're cheap. They're cheaper than Mountain Dew. Go figure that. This 1 liter bottle is 78 cents. And I'm happy with that. And they're good flavors too. So, total dietary change. I was on physical restrictions for at least 2 weeks. I could not do anything. I couldn't even really pick up a box. The stents needed to settle into place, and I could not get my blood pressure up, of risk of dislocating the stent. But now I'm good. Like I said, this was back in May, going into June. Then Saturday night, I woke up to chest pain again. I was like, oh Lord, here we go again. But there was an exception this time. The pain was about a 3 on the scale, 3 to 5. It was not a 10. It was just discomfort. And so, out of an abundance of caution, I just said, okay, we're going to go back to the ER. And I let them know. I got there. I said, hey, I'm here on a revisit. I was just here a week ago for a heart attack and chest pains. And they're like, what's your name? I gave them my name. They said, oh, yes, okay. What's going on? I said, I'm having chest pains again. So I'm here out of an abundance of caution. And so they said, all right, we got you set up. Here's your wristband. We'll take you in right now, and we'll get you settled out. Well, I was scheduled to come back to the hospital for outpatient surgery to get the second stent put in. So that got pushed up. So they put me, I didn't even know this wing of the hospital existed. They did the initial assessment. Numbers and everything were good. Blood pressure was good. Sugar and all that stuff was good. So So they put me in what's called emergency observation. And I don't think I've seen a nicer room in my local hospital. Like, even when I came out of surgery at the ICU, the room was still this new wing that they call emergency observation. You want to talk about top of the line? Oh my God. There was so many niceties in that room. I had my own shower, I had my own bathroom, of course, but the room was humongous. You could easily fit 3 full-size beds in that room, but it was all to me. I was the only person in there. And then I met some people, and yeah, you know, one of my nurses was a former band member of a metal band. So yeah, me and him kicked it off really quick. I'm in there with my phone, I'm playing music. He walks in, "Oh, is that Disturbed?" I was like, "You know Disturbed?" He says, "Young man, I was part of a metal band. Of course I know metal." I said, "Oh, you and me, we gonna be talking now." And so we did, and so I spent about 20 hours in the emergency observation. Then they moved me to the heart surgery wing, which was another section of the hospital. My first day, I was in one of the heart wards, but this place was totally different. This was pre-op surgery, on a whole different place. And so, yeah, it went on from that. So, but other than that, the other topic I wanted to get into, yes, I will be relocating. It's time for me to move. Those of you that know me now, and the individual that's caused me problems knows where I'm at, but I don't care. I ain't gonna do shit. I have lived in Georgia for approximately 36 years, and I've burned out Georgia. I hate to say it. I still have family here, and I got family in other places and other states and everything, but where I'm going, I have friends as well, and apparently I have a job opportunity being offered to me. We'll have to work out the details on that one. But it's going to be a fresh start, and I'm looking forward to it. And maybe eventually, if anybody wants to reach out and get me some information, I can tell you where I'm at. But just be mindful that I will be screening over these requests. So don't think you can troll or punk me. Or you might be somebody that is just looking for information, because I don't know. I'm pretty keen on that now. And but anyways, yeah, I'm doing good. I've lost a significant amount of weight now, so I'm happy about that. With all the exercise and the wake-up call and dietary changes, with all that, I'm converting now, so I am actually starting to build more muscle tone, which my weight has gone back up because of, but that's a good thing, you know. Muscle mass weighs more than blubber and fat and all that, so that's something I can accept. I am a naturally bigger boned individual, so my weight always has been predominantly higher, and yeah. Where I will be relocating to does have railroads right there in the town, so I should be kickstarting my railroad videos again. Hopefully that'll be a thing. And I've been looking into potentially monetizing my channel, but there are a few things I need to settle first. I will only be doing the train videos, so if that works out. The likes and the subscriptions, y'all are awesome. I'm still getting comments on my Sebastian video. Guys, keep them coming. I have no problem talking to y'all. I have no problem chatting with y'all. There's also possibly going to be a theme park starting up on my channel as well, because I will be within close proximity of a pretty famous theme park. But if y'all have any questions, put them down there. Capstar362. Be safe, be smart. Don't be dumb around trains. Please, people. Y'all have a good one.